Hey tubers, this is the Pestle Man. I just got back from the Paleo-American Odyssey in Sante Fe, New Mexico. And oh my gosh, did I ever have the time of my life. Okay, I had extensive conversations with Bruce Bradley, Dennis Stamford, a half a dozen more guys, many of them PhDs from like the Smithsonian and major universities and study centers across the nation. All of it. I mean, can you imagine 3 days of virtually, I mean, they would have like a brief break, like every couple of hours for like 20 minutes for bathroom breaks and a half an hour for lunch, or an hour for lunch, I forget. But it just non-stop lectures on Clovis and pre-Clovis and stuff related to Clovis for 3 days straight. And plus the hallways, there were rooms full of, a great big long room full of like all of the major Clovis caches, all of them right there that you could look at. And I got great stories of all of that stuff, gonna be in later vids. This vid here is just for some of the other stuff that I found. Me and my buddy Russ stopped and hunted. We took a couple extra days early, and we're gonna take another week, but the doggone government got kicked back into gear, and Russ works for the government, and he had to come home early to get back to work. They made him go back to work. So we had to end our trip early. But at any rate, we hunted about 5 or 6 places, and I didn't have much luck at all of them except one. Now here's just an amazing example of how cool my buddy Russ is, okay? I'm wheelchair bound. I'm still recovering from my accident and hoping to get my a new knee pretty soon, and which might put me back walking again. I hope so. But at any rate, my buddy Russ was, I'd stay in the truck or drive around just scoping things, staying on the roads. This is on private property now, with permission, or at least private property with no sign saying no trespassing. Russ would, hunt around and come back and tell me and show me and stuff. And Russ came up on a little blowout out in the middle of this cattle ranch that we were driving around on, that he said he could see points sitting out there on this hole that was about the size of 2 pickup trucks in a little hole, blowout, sandy stuff. And he said he could see numerous points sitting out there, and this whole area everything was on like little 5/8 or 3/4 or maybe even an inch in some case pedestals sitting there in this sandy clay. And so he come up and got me, and I drove the truck up there, and I struggled on crutches and crawling and everything else to get out in there, and he let me. What a cool bro he is. He let me hunt this little blowout that was just sitting there. And now here's an example of some of the things that I found there. This is in Arizona. Just beautiful little points, beautiful things. Haven't even looked these things up yet to see what they are. They were, a lot of them were kind of crusty, but not too bad. And all I've done is rinsed them in water and kind of, just rubbed some of the loose stuff off. Many of them have still got dirt clinging to them in places and stuff. But, Arizona is a tough hunt. Don't let anybody kid you otherwise. This one looks like he's got a little piece just barely hanging on down there on the bottom. But now this one here's a trip. See it's got a little base damage, but look, see all that white ground staining on the bottom of it, just like my petrified wood Clovis does, which turns out is not petrified wood, but that's another video. I took 6 of my Clovis things to this conference, and you see, I thought people were gonna, you know, I was really had great trepidation about going there with taking artifacts because, you know, I didn't know how I'd be received. There's all these professionals and PhDs and guys who have spent their whole life doing it. And, you know, me, I'm just an avocational guy, you know, just basically a hobbyist compared to these folks. But I detected no... You know, they weren't looking down their noses at me a bit. They received me like a fellow hunter and student of the, you know, paleo era and loved my artifacts. Man, I had like 5 or 6 guys demand that I go home and send them pictures of every paleo piece that I had. Dennis Stanford and a couple other guys just insisted that I send a couple of my Clovises to them so that the Smithsonian could have caches of them. Dennis even twisted my arm really hard to just put my Clovises in the Smithsonian. He said, I will see them prominently displayed just a little ways down from where the Finn collection is on permanent display there. Oh, God, I was tempted, but I told him, well, let me think about it. Anyway, back to the finds from the trip out there. Now, all of these were, like, pretty nice finds. I mean, this here is more points than I've ever found myself in...
Patty, what are you doing? What are you doing, Patty? You being crazy again, boy?
Anyway, I had more cool finds in one day thanks to Russ just, you know, basically putting me in a wheelbarrow and dumping me in the middle of this amazing little blowout than I'd ever had in one day before in Arizona. And I even had one screamer. Check this little guy out. Look at that point. Now, I don't know. I believe this one here, if it's not clear, if it's not a chalcedony, may be petrified wood. This place is really close to the National Petrified Forest out there, and that's, you know, that's why I was there in the first place, because I wanted a Clovis point of petrified wood, and so I thought, well, hunt private property as close to the petrified forest as you can get on private land where it's legal to pick up stuff. But look at this little guy. Don't know what type it is, but I do know when you're talking translucent points. Oh my gosh, is that one? Really happy. Well, the sun came out, and I thought I'd come out here and just shoot a couple of more shots of this guy in the sunlight before I went ahead and uploaded him to YouTube. Isn't that a cool little birdie? Oh my gosh, I loved it. And then on the way back, we stopped at a place in California out in the Mojave called Lavic Siding that is really famous for the red jaspers, beautiful red jaspers. And so I was just picking up red jasper from there out of the berms, from where they've pushed the roads open, you know, pushed new roads and done road work out there on the railroad that runs through it and everything. That's how you get there. It's a railroad sighting. And I kept thinking, man, that looks like a tool, and I'd reach down there and pick it up, and sure as the world, cool little, looks like a paleo tool to me, but I don't know, man. It's got, you know, ancient patina. Got another one here, very similar to it. Got a big old edge over there. And you can, one of them it's got, hold on, let me see. Was it this one that had it? Yeah, it's got all of this on one side, and then on, yeah, on this side over here it's got some pretty good napping scars too. So I mean, this is a whole tool. This is just what they made. They made a little scraper cutter knife. And then I found this pretty cool thing. It's napped all the way around. It's a little unifacial scraper, but it's out of really, it's It's actually this Jasper here is much lighter color than what you're seeing here, but it's just, you know, kind of got a dark age patina on it. But cool little thing. And then I found this little bitty cool knife. It's got a little scraper knife. It's uniface as well. Cool things, huh? Yeah, I don't know if I showed the bottom of this little scraper here. It's just a little duck bill, kinda, uniface. And okay, now I'll take you on over and show you a few of the other slightly larger stuff we picked up.